Welcome to your Week 7 edition of Alabama Head to Head, brought to you by Keep Alabama Beautiful. Hanging out with Mike, the real McCoy, and he's about to get real as we get going here on Head to Head.
Oh, let's go now. Oh, oh, now, now. Oh, let's go now. Oh, can't stop us. Oh, let's go now. Oh, oh, now, now.
All right, so you know Mike McCoy, former receiver at Alabama, so he's got the dish. He also works at Maximum Performance. I say works. Well, he also owns, trains. He does it all. We love Mike McCoy here because he's going to shoot us straight. Mike, the real McCoy, is going to shoot us straight as Alabama coming off a loss to Texas A&M. Woo! That was a tough one. 41-38 in College Station with the 12th man. I did Nick Saban's radio show last week, and he said point blank, trap game. What are your thoughts just overall, what you saw on the field? I mean, were you at all concerned with the outcome of this one going into it? Because if I'm not mistaken, both you and I picked Alabama to win that one.
We did.
Check tape.
For me, I think I'm going back to how I felt last year, where I said energy and effort is a must for Alabama, and I haven't seen it. We are spoiled. We go after the shiny car without checking the engines in them. And me saying that, there's too many 5 stars and not enough hungry athletes on that field. Too many blown assignments. And I don't feel like the kids have a connection with their coaches, and I feel like just that turnover is starting to show. But I think Alabama and all will be fine just because of the program, but I didn't see the dog mentality that I needed to see.
All right, so we're going to talk about the defensive side of the football first and foremost. The defensive effort sputtering once again, which is interesting because a week ago against Ole Miss, that's not what we saw. There was a lot of improvement.
Yes.
We were talking about the defense as being the highlight of that game, and then a week later they go in and they struggle against this Texas A&M team. Now they get Mississippi State at Mississippi State.
They airing it out.
Airing it out, i.e. the air raid offense. That's what Mike Leach is all about.
Yes.
And when you've got a guy like Will Rogers who, yes, he's young, but he's showing more confidence. He's showing more efficiency, showing more accuracy in this air raid offense. Right now, he's 75.7% in completion percentage.
Wow.
It's pretty good. And here's the deal. When you go up against this Mississippi State team, you're dealing with, like I said, the air raid, but the methodical drives, the time of possession, they're going to chew up the clock. Short, quick passes, boom, 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 boom. I think Alabama's going to have their hands full once again with this type of offense. They're going to have a lot they got to work on this week in practice.
A lot. I think you're going to have to rotate a multitude of guys. I think you're going to have to run 2 and 3 deep, honestly, just to keep guys fresh. Coach Saban's going to have to decide whether he's going to blitz 2 guys, 3 guys. He's going to have to try to force those guys to run the ball. And if we can slow them down just a little bit, I think our offense will do it. I think if we slow the game down, do what we should have did last week, run the dang ball, I think we'll have a chance.
Yeah, and so here's the deal. So you obviously, Jordan Battle, aside from Jordan Battle, Jalen Armour-Davis, you had Malachi Moore. He went out with the targeting. That hurt.
Fluke call.
Yeah, that hurt. Tell it like it is.
Fluke call. I hope y'all change the rules for next year because it looks like 2-hand touch nowadays. SEC officials, college football, NCAA. Hey, man, this ain't flag football. This is a gladiator sport. Those boys know what they signed up for.
You heard it from him, Mike McCoy, shooting a strike. I told you, Mike, the real McCoy. He's bringing the real. We're in week 7, and we ain't backing down. So let's flip it to the offensive side of the football. You look at this Alabama offense, and, you were talking about shiny things, right? This might not be the same shiny offense we saw a year ago under Mac Jones, and Najee Harris is pounding the rock, and you've got your receivers, and people want to point to maybe John Mechie not stepping up the same way. He's not Devontae Smith. He's not Jalen Waddle. But I mean, this is a new team, new identity. Like sometimes you got to throw out the comparisons because at the end of the day, that's the big deal here, right?
Right.
You got to create that new identity and you got to quit comparing. But I think there's some other issues there. You know, Brian Robinson maybe he's not as effective on the ground. Of course, a week ago against Ole Miss he was. Nobody was complaining about his performance then. But you know, I think some of that production obviously coming from the offensive line and the inability to be able to move the football as effectively, I think is a big area of that. In terms of your deep threats, you've got this kid, Jamison Williams, doing big things.
Yes.
So he's creating big explosives. But what is it about this offense to you that you feel maybe it isn't appealing to the minds of many as it maybe was a season ago? What stands out to you about this offense?
I think Alabama fans have that Snapchat, Instagram mentality, means instant gratification. And I think right now we are a ground and pound team. These are the Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson days with the one or number two receiver. You know what I'm saying? So I think our bread and butter for the next, if we want to win the Natty, they got to run the ball. The offense did a decent job. I think had over 150 yards rushing. I think they could have ran it a little bit more with more opportunities. So, and you got 3 running backs, really 4, and you rotate those, you can't not stop, in and out, you know? And when they load the box, we blow the roof off of it.
And I think one of the bigger issues you can look to is you are running the football, you're on the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
Why do you quit running the football when you get inside the 3-yard line? The game plan changed, the play calling changed a little bit. And I think that has a lot of people kind of scratching their heads as to why those decisions were made. When you are effective running the football, you're moving the ball, and then we're going to go pass it.
Didn't the offense coordinator, he was the NFL coach, right?
Yep, Bill O'Brien.
That reminds me of the Seahawks when they lost to the Patriots on the pick. Why would you not give the ball up? That's a no-brainer. You know, who gonna tackle that big man? That's a grown man. That's a lot of. The objective is to stop his momentum. Who gonna stop that big house? Who gonna stop it? I just didn't get it. It didn't resonate with me. Again, this is the SEC. This is not the Pac-12. No shade to you guys, and this is not anybody ACC. We run the ball. Run the ball, man.
We'll see how they run the ball against this Mississippi State defense. Look, the defense, they're not outstanding. They're not bad. They're kind of middle of the road. And I will say in terms of their pass defense, they're not outstanding. And so I do think, yes, run the football. I do think Bryce Young, though, and company will have some more success in hitting some of those explosive plays downfield. But keep in mind, you're going to Stark Vegas, y'all. So as we get into our prediction time. Look, here's what I'm thinking. When you look at this team, okay, Mississippi State's coming off a bye week.
Right.
Alabama is coming off a very emotional loss at Texas A&M.
Right.
Home of the 12th man. So you're about to go in another stadium that got that artificial noisemakers. The cowbell, bring more cowbell. And then Mississippi State is a team, again, that's going to control the clock. They're going to be methodical and moving the football. So I think Alabama will have its hands full in this one. Can Alabama respond from the sort of the emotional letdown of last week? You know, and I know these guys are ready for a break, and the break is coming. But for now, they got to step up to the plate. They got to get some of these things figured out, offensively and defensively. I still have Alabama winning this one. I'm going to go 34-24.
Ooh, that's close.
I got a 10-point game. And the spread on this one's 17.5 Alabama. So.
Okay. I think Bama losing was a good thing just for a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. Like I said, these shiny objects say, hey, bro, start getting these 3 and them 4 stars, man. Them kids who got a chip on their shoulders. Some guys is going to go down there and hit somebody on special teams and wait their turn. Instead of when you raise your voice, they transfer. And I'm talking to all y'all Bama players, yeah. Old head here. So for me, I think Bama's going to come out swinging. I think Coach Saban needs to take control and run in the defense. And I think the play calling is going to be better this week. I think they're going to slow things up. So for me, I'm going to go 35-14.
Talking a little trash on the field? Yeah, we get it. Trashing the state with litter? That's terrible. Keep it clean, keep Alabama beautiful.
It's guaranteed that I die a legend. Yeah, son God, homie, I'm reverend. Preach, just protecting my investment. Ask about me, integrity's not a question.